the When Calls the Heart After Show. With exclusive, never-before-seen interviews shot on location in Hope Valley as they were filming When Calls the Heart. Join the cast and the crew as they give you a first-hand, behind-the-scenes look at what it took to make Season 13 a reality. And now the host of the When Calls the Heart After Show, Elliot Wallach.
Welcome to the second When Calls the Heart After Show. If you like this programming, please don't forget it helps us so much to like and subscribe and comment. You know, the comment I'd love is, what's been your favorite thing? Like, what would you like to see more as we're making these? Because, you know, you're the reasons we're making them. And now, if you like these after shows, you can find every single one on the Season 13 Collector's Edition. You can pre-order that at whencallstheheart.com. And the Elite Edition, that'll keep you busy till Season 14. That's 36 discs. You can find that at Walmart and online. That's got over 70 hours of bonus content. Now, one of the things that a lot of people appreciate about When Calls the Heart is how they kind of weave real-life experiences into how they're handling things in Hope Valley. This is a great example of that. Tiffany's on the set right now with Aaron Krako to talk about just that.
So episode 2, that was a huge setup. You had the fire, and you're an executive producer on the show. How much say do you have into the storylines that get set up for the season?
Well, I'm involved in early conversations. Joy and her team came up with some really fantastic ideas for this season. And then we all kind of get in a room or a Zoom, as the case may be, and discuss what makes the most sense and what we think will excite and engage our audience most, and then go from there.
Do you think the writers took a page from current events for this storyline?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's one of the really interesting things about When Calls the Heart. You know, it's a show that takes place in the early 1900s, but the themes of the stories are obviously very relatable. Love, friendship, family, community, all of that. But we also have been able to incorporate stories, news, whatever it may be, from current events. You know, I don't think it was intentional years ago, but we had an episode about chickenpox epidemic, and it was happening just as we were learning about COVID. So
right.
In this case, I do think that the story was inspired by the fires that were happening in Southern California, and some of our writers live there.
Mm-hmm. Were you affected by that?
By the fires?
Yeah.
Well, not in any kind of serious way.
Yeah.
You know, it's the sort of thing where you stay up all night checking the app and making sure it's not inching too close. I have friends who lost their homes. It was tragic. Mm-hmm. But we rebound.
So this season really just came out guns blazing. I really felt like the first 2 episodes that it was almost like a finale. Tell me about those first 2 episodes that you guys shot.
Well, I agree with you. I think they had a lot of intensity. They had a lot of action. Mm-hmm. And when I say action, there's a lot of horseback riding. And I think it really grounded us in the DNA of the show, especially when it comes to the Mountie, my character, Bill Avery, sort of the patriarch, judge, ex-sheriff Mountie. And we have a natural disaster. So the community is in jeopardy. All of the local communities are children. So you see, you know, the men of the town shift into gear. We're on horseback a lot, and there's a lot of rescuing. So I loved it. I think we came out of the blocks, like you said, blazing, because it's intense. And we're going to use a lot of CGI to help create the atmosphere. Having a current storyline, especially with the kids involved and their safety, and, you know, then that transitions into how did the fire start, which then, you know, gives the lawman something to look into forensically as well.
So episode 2,
Yes.
the fire. Logistically, how did you guys pull that off? Were there actual flames?
Yeah, we lit the whole forest on fire. Anything for the name of entertainment.
That's right.
No, they did some fun stuff there. A lot of it CGI, but some, you know, older movie magic tricks they did. They put like almost like a barbecue line or like a propane line, and then did a small flame under the like in front of the lens, so everything looked like it was on fire as it was moving around. You know, we had heavy smoke machines kind of going, and then it was just kind of an urgency thing. You know, we just rode those horses like crazy, and we had to do so much stunt, like pulling up actors on. We doubled a lot on these horses.
What do you mean by that?
So like one of the things was like, so Bill and I would go into the woods to try to save these kids who are trapped in the fire. And it all happened so quickly. We're supposed to just like grab these kids and throw them up on the horse and go. So Jack and Jacob, Oliver and Bill, got to go, and they took Allie and Opal,
Yes.
two little girls. And then Viv and I had to go in and get Joseph's son and Toby.
Yeah.
And I had to lift Toby on the back of the thing. And like, just these guys are so much bigger than the girls. And I thought I was gonna get pulled off first of all. And then when I got him up there, and we really didn't, we did a couple with the stunt people. And then when we actually got the real actors up there, like I think it was Billy's like first time being up there, and he was kind of, and I was like, stop pulling me down.
You're like,
don't pull me off this horse. And then we kind of had to take off, and yeah, it was everything worked out. Nobody broke their leg or back or anything. But yeah, it was a lot of fun because we actually got to do a lot of stunts, and I feel like I've got the horse. I've really kind of understood my horse this year. I got him into a nice like gallop and lope a couple times, and yeah.
Is he a good partner? Or does he?
He's the only one I know. Yeah, he's a good partner, and he's like I said, I feel like I figured out where the gears are and how to get him going now. He is lazy.
He is.
Like, oh yeah, there was one thing we had to race out of town at the end of episode 1 to go to the fire, and I'm leading the charge, and Bill's behind me on his horse, and Viv's there, and Jacob's there, and I can see Jack like kind of coming on the corner of my eye faster. I'm like, stay back, because my guy is just like this big clomper like coming down, and Jack's has got a much faster horse, but. He looks great. He looks great, and we get him up to pretty good speed, but he could be a bit faster sometimes.
Yeah.
I have a great horse. My horse is so fantastic. So when I was we kind of faked pulling up the first, onto my horse. And then we had a stunt girl that was dressed like one of the younger girls. And, it was just a quick pull up and take off. So it was seamless. And even with the actress who did it. So, when you have the proper, push-pull, it's really pretty easy. It's not like you're deadlifting something when you have someone pulling up as you're pulling up and they're pulling on you. It's really quite a cool little move, putting somebody on the horse and taking off.
I think Viv is the one who told me that you needed to be in a Western, like you need your own Western movie. You're authentic.
Viv Leacock is very kind to me. So yeah, I think he saw me on the horse, and I enjoy riding, so I'm pretty confident on a horse. And he had just mentioned, man, you should be doing Westerns. And I'm like, I'm on a series. I'm on the show.
I am in a Western.
I am in a Western.
So there was a stunt double for all of us. So stunt double for Kevin didn't need a stunt double, but like there's a stunt double for the rest of us. And so we shot a scene, an angle where it's me. I have to move my foot out of the rein, and then the stunt double he steps into it, and then he's got to get himself with me pulling him up. Like, he's a big guy, so he has to get himself up and over onto the back behind the saddle,
Right.
which is not easy to do at all.
No.
And he did a good job. And Elias, he was okay. They had to put a little stool so he could fling himself up and over.
Was he nervous about that? Were you nervous about it?
About him being on the horse? Yeah. I wasn't. I wasn't nervous about him being on the horse because he was just hanging on to me. No, he was hanging on real tight. And we didn't have to go very far with him on the back of the horse, but the riding was amazing. I had a really good time doing that.
You did.
Yeah. Last year I rode for the show, and I wasn't happy with my ability back then to navigate the horse and to steer it, and because you have to be so precise. There's camera equipment and people and stuff. You can't mess around and knock over anything. None of that happened, but this year I had way more control. Like I was kind of I was kind of manhandling the horse last year. I was like pulling it too hard. I was doing stuff that was unnecessary. And this year I kind of, the connection between me and the horse is like way better. So
Same horse?
same horse.
Okay.
Same horse. So our wrangler, Carrie, he was the one that instructed me this year. And he was like, if there's a problem with the horse, it's probably you, not the horse. And so I was always checking in, like, what am I doing? Because I'm doing something wrong. And so this year, with his instruction, I really got really pretty good at it. So I'm all about like, when is Joseph riding the horse next now?
Because those horses are smart. I mean, they really kind of know what to do.
Oh, they know what to do. Yeah. It's the person on top that doesn't know what to do. And they're just like, come on, dude, really?
They're like, why are you yanking on my bridle? And like, I'm trying
they get confused. They're like, because if you like pull back and then kind of like this, the horse is like, well, what are we doing? You want to go back or do you want to go this way? What do you want?
Exactly.
Be clear. So that's the thing. I was like, oh, okay, yeah, I'm doing everything wrong. So I figured that out. We did a lot of cool sequences where we're riding through the forest fire, and I'm like, yeah.
Because did you do the running? Because I feel like there was a scene where you guys take off out of, right, all together.
Yep.
And you did that.
Got the gallop.
Yeah.
Well, we got the trot. Yeah, we were moving pretty fast. It was cool. It was a cool shot, man. It was like a classic kind of like Western shot. They run to the stables, we get on the horse, we ride out. It was cool.
Wow.
Yeah, man. I loved it a lot.
Now, have you ridden a horse before? I can't remember. Did you ride last season?
I had practiced, but I had not ridden yet, like actually on the show. But yeah, I had practiced last year.
So when you saw that in the script that you were going to have to ride, and I think you guys kind of like take off, don't you, at a full gallop? Was that intimidating or fun?
Both. I mean,
yeah.
Because we just kind of jumped right into it. Like a tiny bit of practice before, and then it was just like action, and we're all of a sudden at a full gallop. I'm like trying to keep my feet in my rein.
Yeah, right.
But I mean, yeah, I got through it, and yeah, everything worked out. No one fell off.
There were some stunts though. Yeah, didn't you have to pull Allie up onto the horse?
Yeah.
Did you actually do that stunt, or did somebody else do it?
No, I did it.
You did?
Yeah.
And did you do it with Allie, or did that was a stunt double for her?
We did that with a stunt double.
You did?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. But then did you actually, once she's on the horse, there's got to be the scene of you two together where you can...
Yeah. I think it was just like a split second of like seeing us both, and then and we didn't ride off as far when Jada was actually on the horse. We did practice with Jada though.
You did?
Yeah.
Was it successful?
It was.
Did you nail it on the first try?
It was surprisingly easy. It felt good. Yeah.
Well, actually, we practiced getting on the horse together, but then on the day there was a stunt double for me, and I was like, yeah, okay, cool. And then I was like, oh, but like we practiced, so I figured I was gonna be getting on a horse. And then in rehearsal, she like runs and she like jumps and she doesn't even get in the stirrup. I was like, now I see why they have a stunt double for the whole thing, because I am not a superhero, but she was, and both the stunt doubles killed it on that day. But I did ride off with him, but just cut differently, so I was already on the horse.
Was that scary? I mean, were there flames? We had lots of horses, and tell me about that.
Well, actually, it's all going to be CGI mostly.
Okay.
So we just had to like pretend. They're like, oh yeah, that tree's on fire. I'm like, okay, got it. Let's just, woo, you know? So it was cool though, because normally we don't have a lot of CGI on the show. So like they do like a still shot, and then they've got like the special, like I don't even know how they do it, but I'm really excited to see how it will turn out. But it was fun to film.
The fire, the burned landscape. How did you accomplish that?
That was a real team effort. And I learned a lot about, how VFX even works. Like that's, was kind of a new world to me, because we don't do that a lot on the show. And so knowing we wanted to have this grand scope of things, we're also shooting in, the dead of summer and in a heavily wooded area. And the reality of being able to use real flame was just, there was a risk and that no one was really willing to take, obviously. And so we knew from early on that it would be VFX heavy. And really what I would do, my job kind of became was to listen and to take that picture of what our director was setting up. And this is our zone. So I was able to zone everything. And it really was just me helping the shooting crew and like organize themselves, because it was less about being creative in that situation and just supporting the creative team that was going to be in charge of it. So zoning the area and kind of giving them little frames of potential, like, okay, so he's going to want some flame here. So I would draw some flame in on a frame. And then, luckily, having my greens department, having my special effects team, and any support that they needed from us, making sure that we had trees where they needed to be trees so that we could block stuff. And then, of course, just compiling as much debris and getting to burn that debris offsite and bring it in so that there is that realistic pathway that people are kind of going through, and to bring that danger kind of closer to the camera and closer to our actors without it actually being real flame and real danger. That's where my responsibilities in this scenario played out.
Our department was to create a flame effect in front of the camera, which will allow visual effects to make that flame bigger and to enhance it in post. And the second one was probably the most challenging one, was to create a cloud of smoke, like a lot of smoke coming from the fire. We use what we call a Hearties, which is a device that runs out of small propane tanks with smoke fluids. It doesn't require power. So we have lots of those that we built. And then we use a smoke tube, which is basically like a garbage bag, but it's open both ends, and it's really big, and we run the smoke tube all around the set, and then we pump smoke, and we have holes in that big tube. So when we pump smoke with air, then the smoke comes out from those holes and go towards where we want it to go, and we direct it the way we want to direct it. We direct the volume, we control the volume, and we control the direction of it. And that is challenging because when you are in the middle of the forest, you have winds and currents all over the place, and we have to make sure that wherever we create the smoke from, it has to look as natural as possible. But the wind was definitely coming from all parts, and sometimes for some reason, I think the temperature might have something to do, but the wind will clear out of set, so the smoke will be coming and then it will just go up. We had to run manually ourselves for some times the Hearties, so the big smoke device. We had to run through the set and then clear frame when we roll, and then the smoke would kind of stay, plus the one that was added. It kind of looked consistent. We usually like to run, when we do things like that, we like to go about 4 to 5 special effects assistants. It's controllable that way, and everyone has a task to do. So those 2 days were different. 2 days of shooting were very, very interesting and challenging, but we were able to do it.
Well, there was a lot of debate about, oh, it's too much smoke. Oh, there's not enough smoke. Oh, we need more smoke. Oh, it's not enough smoke. So a lot of time was spent fanning smoke. And we just wait till we get the smoke at the right level. But I think a lot of what we're going to see is going to be put in through VFX. Besides the atmosphere, the fog that we use for smoke and makeup for soot and whatnot, we didn't have any practical effects on the day there. So I'm kind of excited to see what it's going to look like, because you imagine what's going on in your mind, but it's sort of like when you read a novel and someone else has read a novel and has a completely different image in their head. Yeah. So we'll see what novel the VFX folks read. Yeah. And see if it tracks. And sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. Something, yeah, that's exactly the kind of thing I was imagining. And then other times it's either way more than you thought or way less than you thought. So you've either overacted or underacted because things have changed down the line. And I don't know what to expect. We'll see. I hope it looks good. I hope it was fun to shoot that. We haven't done anything fire related since the derrick exploded. Unless I'm forgetting something, which I could be.
And then I think prior to that, maybe there was something before you came onto the show, and maybe season 3 or something with Jack trying to put out a fire, and a building was on fire.
Didn't a certain someone burn something down right when she got to town?
Yes, that's true. So there has been. That was like the original, and then there was another building on fire a little bit later.
Yeah.
So you guys also did some stunts with the horses.
Mm-hmm.
How do you do that logistically, and how do the horses respond to sort of this energy and smoke, all of that?
It's a little nerve-wracking because, they're strong, they're big, powerful animals. And I love horses, but I'm not by any means a horse expert. So I put a lot of trust and faith in our wranglers to manage that situation. And in the case of this this episode that we're talking about with the fire, there's a part where Lucas kicks open a gate because it's stuck. It was just made me a bit nervous because it made the horses nervous. When it's a big fast move with a loud smack, and it's right in front of them. And then we swing the gate open and go. And so, at one point or another, it took them aback. And I'm sure you won't see that because it won't be in the cut that they use. But kick the gate, swing it open, and then had trouble getting the horses to actually leave because they're like, I don't want to go right. That was loud. I don't like that.
Yeah.
Like, no, you have to go there. Go through it.
Yeah.
But it was really quite profound to see them when they do take off, because they are, there's 3 of them between Miranda and I, and they're taking off through this gate, and they're just so strong. And seeing them rip out like that right in front of us, and the ground was a little bit soft, and so watching them take after take, just seeing how heavy they are and strong they are, and they were turning up this dirt. And sinking a little bit into it as they would try and go out. But I've walked on that land a whole bunch of times, and I've never seen it torn up so fast by these guys. It's really impressive.
So what happens after they run past you?
Who knows? I think they're still looking for them.
Yeah, right. Is there, like, the wranglers are waiting, and I mean, the horses must be so well trained that they just know not to take off.
So they have they had an exit route planned, and they will basically create a corridor, and they'll use whatever they can. The wranglers themselves physically, but then they'll also close certain gates so that when the horses run off, their end point is actually in the corral.
Okay.
So they end in a safe zone.
Oh,
They can't.
okay. They can't just take off
No,
out
no.
onto the
I mean, I suppose one could pull a incredible maneuver and jump over something.
Yes,
but
which they can. They actually can. Yeah.
they didn't do that. They just run to the barn.
Yeah.
Yeah. Probably hope they don't have to do it again. I was going to say, though, regarding the horses, that it's much harder when you're on them. After after a few scenes, or even horseback lessons, if I come and get on the horse for an hour or an hour and a half, I'm just completely shot because I never work my inner quads like that. And then I had to go to the store after, and I was walking through the market, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm just walking bow-legged. Like, what is wrong with me? I can't believe that it just targets such a specific spot.
Yeah, that's a real thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But a friend of mine went down and did cowboy camp, and it was 2 weeks straight, and they worked them really long hours every day. And I was thinking, oh man, I'm this sore after 1 hour.
You do get used to it. I grew up with horses, so I used to ride. I was living in the country, so I didn't even have a saddle. So I just bareback, just holding on to the mane.
Yeah.
But you're sore for a little bit, but after a few days, you kind of get used to it.
You just get numb to the pain.
Well, and I think also it's just not used to being in that position.
Yeah.
I guess that's why cowboys are bow-legged, though, because they're always there, around the horse.
Mm-hmm.
This particular scene did require Lucas and Edie to open these gates, and these horses just came rushing out. It was exhilarating, never really scary. Chris does a really nice kind of kick down the fence, a cool guy move. And
He is cool.
I know. I want to do a cool guy thing. Like, he gets to do all the cool guy things, and I'm going to vote for, if we have another season, I want.
You're like, I'm kicking the fence.
I'm kicking the fence this time, yes. But no, he makes it look easy. So he gave the fence a kick and then opened it up. And of course, when you're shooting those scenes, it's you do it in pieces. So you shoot the part of him kicking the fence, and then we would pause, and the wranglers would come in. We'd open up the gates, and the horses would come running right out. But all of that, the opening, the horses will go where they want to go. So the minute that the gate is opened, they would go for it. There'd be a few stragglers that would just kind of be really happy where they were, and we'd have to be like, okay, go.
Yeah, there's a fire.
There's a fire. Pretend. But then once they go, they just really, they don't stop. So they want to go back home. And these horses know this film set probably better than any living thing here because they live here. So they would try to make their way back home, I guess. And so we had a special kind of corral situation set up way around into the woods, and to make sure that they would stop where they were meant to stop, and then we'd be able to get them reset. We did it a couple times, but it wasn't too heavy a lift of a scene. It was fun.
So on those days, is that physically challenging for you? By the end of the day, is it because lots of times acting is not physically work.
Yeah. Depends on the job. This one isn't. Some of them are.
Yeah. But you were digging. Weren't you doing a fire break and all that?
That one, I worked up a bit of a sweat. Yeah. Yeah, we had we're working on the ground there. There was a line of us all working, and we're going at it. And somebody mentioned it. They're like, "Oh wow, you're really showing us up here." I just don't get the chance to dig or do anything very often, and there's a level of urgency here because the fire is on its way to burn. So, if that was really your town and your home and it was under fire like that, you would give it everything you have. But it does get tiring when you have to do a master and then mediums, close-ups, covers. Or like there's so much. So I got it worked up a couple blisters on my hands that day.
You did?
Yeah, but it was fun. It was good.
It was a huge episode to film. Also, it was really hot in Vancouver when we were filming it.
Yeah.
And so it was, we were at like in the 30s, mid 30s. And then we're also with special effects, the fire, and we're doing some manual work. And it was a lot, but it was really fun. And it was nice to be more physical in our scenes versus just all dialogue.
Yeah, and you really got in there. You were really digging.
Yeah. I was digging. I was wheelbarreling. It was really fun. And there's a scene that I did with Jack and Chris. So Chris is here, Jack is here, and it's me wheelbarreling. And then Jack comes in, and then Chris is already digging there. And so when we're kind of like, okay, because it's really like strenuous, like physically. We're like, let us know when it's on us, and then we'll really exert some of the effort to like wheelbarrow. I'll fill the wheelbarrow higher, and then Chris was like picking, like doing the pickaxe thingy like more vigorously, and so it was on Chris, and everyone's like, it's on Chris. So then I didn't have to. I was off camera. Jack was off camera, and then Chris goes bang. Bang. And then that scene where he lassos the cow and then his hair goes all curly and stuff? And everyone on Twitter was like going crazy about that. That happens again. Oh. And Jack and I just like watch him and we're like, he looks good. He looks good doing it.
He told me that he was really going for it.
He was. Yeah. And he looked strong doing it.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, put the governor in, build the trench. Get it, governor.
Yeah. He said that you guys were going, hey, you're really going for it. You're making the rest of us,
Well, yeah. So then we started wheelbarrowing harder, and then and then it was nice because then the crew was like, you look like if the pop clips happened, like I'd want you on my team. I was like, that's very nice. Yeah.
And then you were saying earlier that you were dirty. I mean,
you
guys
so
really,
dirty. Yeah. It was like everywhere. And so then there was a moment where I just like did one of these, so it justified why my face was so covered in soot. But yeah.
And so compared to everybody else, how did you look?
The dirtiest.
Yeah.
It was everywhere on me. Everyone was like, just like the graceful, like a little bit. But for me, it was like, it's like I put my face in mud and then like, you know what I mean? It was just.
Were you surprised when you got back and you saw yourself in the mirror? I mean, because you're looking at everybody else and they're covered. But then when you saw yourself, you're thinking.
Absolutely. I was like, this is what I looked like this whole time and no one told me. And then Ben and Martin were like, we told you you looked way dirtier than all of us. And they kept joking and been like, Martin was like, oh, Ben, did you just tell your wife to go do all the dirty work? And I was like, ha ha ha, this is funny just because I have a little bit of soot on me. But it was like, no, I was covered.
Why did you end up with so much? Because you were touching your face, or was the makeup was doing it?
Makeup was doing it.
They were just like, she's working hard.
She's working so hard.
She's one of the few women out here. We're going to show these men up.
I don't know why I was just so covered. What was funny is because I have like some like a nail strengthener on my nails.
Yeah.
And so when they put the soot on, everything was like, sooty, except the nails were like gleaming.
Oh, right.
Clear.
Because it wouldn't stick.
It wasn't sticking to the nails, yeah. So I thought that was kind of funny. And I was like, okay, you're going to just like, buff it out a little bit into the dirt and the dust.
We're going to be looking at that now. We're like, hey, she doesn't have any dirt under her fingernails. She's not real.
Yeah, exactly.
So what was Mike doing this whole time? You're out there digging the fire break. I think he was in the fire wagon, or was he?
What was he doing?
Yeah, I feel like running. I think he was running back and forth with maybe they were in Benson Hills, and maybe he'd taken the fire. I can't remember.
I also can't remember. I remember him saying a line, being like, "Thanks for taking the lead on this, to go to Benson Hills to clean up or something like that." I don't know what he was doing in the meantime, to be honest. I'm like, yeah, you got it, husband.
It was pretty cool. It was like a lot of the scenes, they managed to weave the whole town together. You could see what a community effort it was. And so as the fire grows in intensity and the alarm grows amongst the community and the winds shift and it starts going over towards another town, it's like it was a really exciting thing to be a part of because there were a lot of moving parts, horses, wagons, the fire pumper, people hustling around throughout the background and running to get help. And so there's a real sense of energy in the town as everybody comes together. So I was a part of that, and it can be really gratifying to be a small part of a big moving machine like that. So very often, like most of what I was doing was like riding in and out of town on the back of the fire pumper. And that was like most of what I did during the filming of that stuff. But every bit of that tells a story about how exhausted we are coming back from the fire and picking ourselves up to go fight another one. I think the spirit of Hope Valley is really evident in all the different ways in which people are helping out, and whether it's digging the trench on the front line or bailing water onto the roofs of the houses to keep the sparks from igniting, or actually hopping on the wagon and going and fighting the fire right up front. It was a really, it's a really exciting way to start the season.
What does the prep look like on something like that? Like, how do you guys block all of that out, and how long does it take to do that?
Anytime we have the whole cast in, or most of the cast, the blockings are long, and it requires a lot of focus and attention and patience. And, when you're hanging out with a bunch of your buddies, sometimes that's in short supply. You kind of get caught up chatting, and the director needs to be like, hey, we're still working. So everybody bands together, though. We figure out how we fit in, and it's a fun thing that like exists a lot in live theater, but less so typically when filming a show like this. Is you feel like you're part of this ensemble, and even if all you have is the one line, the way in which you enter the scene and deliver it, the energy that you bring, the timing of it to keep the whole thing moving and flowing, it really matters, and you feel like you're helping to paint this big tapestry. That was probably the most fun part of it, and the prep for that, it really comes down to the crew. I mean, they do an amazing job getting everything set up. By the time we show up on set, it already looks like an evacuation zone, or donation bins are out, or, they've actually done all the work that we're pretending to do. So for us, in terms of just like be on your mark and say your line, it's pretty much the same.
Are those some of the more enjoyable days when everybody's together?
Yeah, they really can be. I find that in acting, the grass is always greener in so many ways. Like, you got to stay present and enjoy what you're doing. But when you're doing one of these big group scenes, it can kind of feel like, oh, I really miss those just two-person scenes where we get to connect and tell a story between us. And then when you're doing a lot of those, it's like, oh, man, I remember when we used to have the whole cast in? That was really fun. I wish we could do more of those. So, it's all good.
Do you like days like that? Do you like it when it's the physical exertion?
I do, actually.
You do? Why?
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know. I think there's it reminds me of this episode that we did for Rosemary's baby shower. And it was Kayla and I and Fiona and May, and we didn't really have anything to say, but it was like all physical. We were like doing that little sneaky thing and the running. I don't know, for some reason there's something so fun and freeing about doing that. And the wheelbarrowing and the actual digging and the running, there's something that feels very active, and like your adrenaline's like actually pumping for some reason.
Yeah.
And there's something really fun and exciting about that.
The physicality gives you another layer to the acting?
I think so.
Yeah.
It just it makes the body feel like it's actually happening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Were you sore the next day?
You know what? I wasn't. However, I was talking to Ben, who plays Mike, and I don't know how we got on this topic, but I was saying something about being able to squat him.
I saw this video. I watched that and I was so nervous. So I heard she's going to break her legs.
Well, the thing is, he told me how much he weighed, like, shortly before I did it, and I wasn't expecting that. And but I was committed to it already. And so I didn't tell Ben this, but after trying to squat him the next day, I felt sore, but I just kept a zip on it because I'm like, I don't want him to be like, I told you so.
Well, when he topped on your back,
yeah.
and then he's like, "You said I'm going to squat him," and I'm watching your knees, and I'm thinking,
yeah, I know.
This could end terribly.
It's clearly a girl who only has brothers. You know what I mean? It's slightly competitive, doesn't back down. It's not a good trait, and I should probably not. I should work on that, but. Yeah, I was committed to it, and a camera was rolling. I couldn't at that point stop.
Well, and you kind of did it. You really did. I mean, you did carry the weight, at least on the way down.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
It's the up that was the tough
that's
part.
always the hard part.
Yeah.
So.
Aaron was like, "You guys, if you got injured, we're still filming." And then Ben was like, "I told you you were going to get in trouble for this." And I was like, "Okay, well, if we do a redo, it'll be the last day when we're not shooting anymore."
Is that what makes it fun? Sort of the camaraderie between the scenes?
I think so, yeah. I think it's very easy to play Ben's wife on the thing because we're friends in real life. And I think that the cast, we just all really get along and, we like to spend time with each other, and it makes pretending to be friends very easy because we actually are friends. Yeah. So it's nice. And it is kind of community oriented. So that makes it also it's like you come to work with your friends, and then we play friends as friends.
Yeah.
So it's nice.
Hi there, my name is Kevin Smith, and I play Leland Coulter on When Calls the Heart. And did you know that you can actually own all 12 seasons in a single box set?
It's called the When Calls the Heart Elite Edition.
This is it. It's very thick. You can tell. They're all there. It's 70 hours of bonus content plus 139 episodes, deleted scenes, bloopers, featurettes, and even episodes that have never been seen.
In this elite box set, and you can pick it up online or at Walmart. That's really something.
Episode 2, there was the fire. How did you dress everybody for that? Because it was dirty.
Definitely, like this year, the first 2 episodes, basically the first block was our biggest block yet. Like it's from, this is my 11th season, and it was like the most work we had the first block right now. Plus, when you add a big action sequence, which we had this year, and everybody has to have multiples, and then you have stunts. And because they are dirty, then you definitely need, we had to have triples. Usually we can get away with doubles, but in this scenario we had to have a clean hero outfit for the cast, then dirty outfit for the cast, and then we had to have the stunt outfit for the stunt double. And we had Opal, so for Opal we built her a new outfit for the stunt. I had this corduroy fabric, which I actually originally wanted to use for Elizabeth, but we had bolts of it. So I'm like, oh, we can do triples out of it. So we did the pants and the vest. And then we had Ellie, and she usually wears her little, I will just call it a jumper, even though it's probably better to say it overalls. But so she's wearing her little pants too, and we needed multiples of that. And then, you have blouses. So then you're like, okay, which blouse can I get in triples? And it looks still historically authentic. Like Gowan, he has actually these beautiful shirts, and the original ones are Brooks Brothers, and Brooks Brothers closed in Vancouver, so you cannot get those shirts anymore, right? So I'm like, I don't want to ruin one of those shirts because I know I cannot get a replacement, but we can ruin one of his older shirts because I don't really care about it, right? So for him, we ruined one of his older shirts, right?
And when you say ruined, it's because you put soot, ash.
Yeah. And you don't know if it comes off, right? So I just didn't want to risk one of the expensive Brooks Brothers shirts because it's a special, it has it's absolutely perfectly authentic shirt with the nice collar, which is detachable. It came in a beautiful box originally. So you don't want to ruin something which you cannot replace again. And we had kids stunt doubles too, right?
Okay,
so we had Toby, and then we had Cooper, and you kind of also have to think about the color palette because one thing is the multiples, but also like you suddenly have 8 people, and then like there's lots of thinking going on because like you don't want them all in blue, and then I'm like, okay, well, Joseph looks good in green, but then you also have to order vests, like multiple vests, because you cannot buy them in Vancouver, like historically appropriate ones, and also you have to think budget too, right?
Right.
Because like
it's true.
Because like it's shoes too, right? Like as soon as you have a stunt, if you don't have a double of the shoe, then you have to get a new shoe for the actor and then new shoe for a double, especially if you are seeing the shoes. So that was specific, especially for the, like this stunt sequence, right? Like we asked like, okay, can we just find a close match to the shoes of the actor, especially for guys? Because, like your budget is just going to go out of hand just buying all these multiple of the shoes, right? And then for the girls, for the stunt, again, because they have shorter pants, you exactly see every detail of the shoe. But when it's a man and he has a shoe underneath the pant, then you don't see the shoe exactly. You just might see a little bit. So no, there's lots,
It was a lofty goal. I mean, we then shot the digging of the trench, and then just the onslaught of course everybody coming into town from Benson Hills, and it was also like a really spooky episode to shoot. Like
it was.
You've got kind of like some of our ash flying around, and then you've got all of these background and our actors covered in soot and carrying on them anything that they could pull from their burning home. And then the moment, and I was on set watching them kind of round the corner from the judges and all coming down Main Street towards us was spooky. It was a very solemn, real moment that, when there's the insanity of shooting, but that moment kind of seemed to slow down for me. And just seeing all of our actors running off to go and do the running to Benson Hills with our fire engine and seeing them come back covered. It was really kind of scary. It was a true hit home kind of moment, even okay, it's not real, but it felt very real. And I definitely credit our actors and our director for really bringing that reality right there.
Yeah.
So it was heavy.
We think we're going to have to evacuate, but really it becomes Benson Hills who evacuates and comes to Hope Valley. And we band together to gather clothing and blankets and find rooms and homes for people where they can stay the night. There are children who can't find their parents. And so we really work together as a community to be there for our neighbors.
Yeah, and that's what this show exemplifies. I mean, there's been several episodes where the community comes together this season, and another relationship that seems to be coming together, segue,
sure. Well done.
Allie and Oliver.
Allie and Oliver.
How cute.
Oliver.
What do you think?
I'm obsessed. I mean, I think it's the cutest thing. I love to be on set for their scenes together. I think they're both so talented and charming and just dear and innocent. And then I'm excited to wake up early the next morning and watch the dailies and see what it looks like coming together. They're just so precious and special, and it's impossible not to root for them.
Yeah, and I feel like they're a little bit of their characters because Jada is so extroverted.
No.
And Jacob is a little bit introverted.
Yes.
So the dynamic works.
It really does work. And I think, actually when Daniel and I first started on the show, it really worked for our characters that he and I were getting to know each other as Jack and Elizabeth were getting to know each other. And I think similarly, I've seen Jacob has come out of his shell a bit this season. There's a different kind of confidence there. And he and Jada have such a lovely, respectful friendship. And the way their friendship as characters comes alive on screen really reflects who they are in life.
We also see Oliver get an arrest. I think it's his first arrest. Do you like playing this new sort of Mountie that's really involved more in the town?
Yeah, that was fun. I thought it was really funny because of how big this guy was.
Oh, really?
Because I'm not in uniform. I don't have any I don't even have cuffs on me. It looks like I'm making a citizen's arrest. I'm arresting this guy who's like twice the size of me. And then Jack's over there like coughing on the ground. This guy could have just picked me up and threw me across a building. But yeah, still made the arrest.
And I think it probably impressed Allie, right?
Oh yeah, that was a big part.
Yeah.
Look at the end.
How do you think Allie was feeling about that when she got to see the arrest go down?
I think she was like, ooh la la. At least that's what I was thinking to my brain. I was like, portray that, right? Yeah, that was an easy day for me too. That was my only thing I had to do. So I was like, I gotta nail this look. I gotta really look like I'm in love with him. But I think it was like a realization moment of like, he's grown up over the summer as well. And like, he's like becoming like, a man, right? So,
So you had a little bit of an altercation with his character, Clarence. When you have scenes like that require a little bit of stunts, do you enjoy that?
Yeah, I've always loved doing stunts. What's funny about this particular stunt is this actor was about 6'5", weighed about 250, and was just ripped. And I'm like, could I have some help? Could I have some help with this? So he was a great guy, and I was able to get one punch in, but because of what the fires that happened at the beginning of the season, my characters, we find out is struggling with air, breathing. So that becomes part of the storyline just in the first couple episodes. So I wasn't able to completely take him out, but I had a little help.
A scene that was really fun to do was, I guess it was just Lucas and Edie coming back, and we had to ride, and then we were holding on to our 2 horses as well. So we were leading them as well while we were riding, which felt like a very fun kind of cowboy Western moment of like slowly walking back into town, battered and, ashen and everything. So,
But you're comfortable on a horse.
I am.
I mean, this is not new. This is not new for you.
No, not new. And I'm so grateful every time I get to ride, because it's just like, this is my favorite days here, is being able to ride the horses. They're such gentle giants, and I love the horse I get to ride.
So at this point, how do you think Edie's feeling about Lucas? She's back in town. He just helped her save her horses.
Yes, I think so many feelings, right? There was the initial kind of cat and mouseness that we saw a lot in season 12, and that was a dynamic of their relationship that I think we see at the beginning of season 13 as well. And then I think there's an immense gratitude that quickly follows that. He's helped her save what could be saved of her ranch and really shown some true colors. And I think it just kind of solidifies that this is a person that she can trust and she can rely on and really does like.
Doesn't she get to see him do a magic trick? She watches him do some magic.
She does, yes. She gets to witness yet another skill of Lucas Bouchard's magician. Big surprise. Yes, he's performing some magic for some of the kids of Benson Hills to lighten the mood and cheer them up a bit. And she kind of gets to see this playful side of him, which is something I really like about these 2 characters and their relationship, is that there's always a sense of play. And I think that for 2 serious people, I like to see them collide in a playful kind of manner. So it was cool to witness through Edie's eyes that sweet little moment that I think just adds another layer of this growing relationship and this admiration for Lucas.
The other thing you got to do, the magic tricks.
Oh, yeah.
With the Benson Hills kids.
Mm-hmm.
Did you practice those ahead of time? Do you know some magic tricks now?
I wouldn't say that I know many magic tricks. No, I learned. We had a magician come in. He was really great, and he kind of ran me through a whole bunch of different concepts, different ideas. I learned how to do one where you see it on the show, where you make the handkerchief disappear. And the fun part about that was that the kids didn't know the secret to the trick. So that's their genuine reactions when that we were recording. And it was fun to do. I thought they might catch on by the end of it, but I don't think they did. Between all the different takes we did. They were still asking me, how'd you do that? Well, I think you stuffed it in your shirt. I think you put it in between the buttons. And then I could have some fun with them, and I'd have it disappear, and then I could pull it out from their hair or something like that. Yeah, it was enjoyable.
So it's something now you can sort of have in your bag of tricks. You'll be able to repeat this?
Yeah, with if I know I'm going to be doing it, I can repeat it.
Yeah. Predictions or any 3 words to kind of summarize the season, what we can look forward to?
Well, I'm terrible at this. I don't know if I can give you 3 words. But
okay, or a sentence.
Or a sentence. I don't know if I can give you a sentence. But I will say It's just so wonderful to be back here. And every season, I'm going to give you a monologue.
Okay.
And every season feels like something new and exciting and special. Getting to move forward in the 1920s, whether it's technology or fashion, or there's just a sense of growth and forward motion. And then it doesn't stop there. It's seeing how time moving forward impacts all of these families and relationships. I guess what I mean is nothing stays still or stagnant in Hope Valley. And that will very much be on display in season 13.
The other thing that will be on display is just how hard they work to bring you season 13, and hopefully we're showing that right here on the after show. Hey, don't forget to like and subscribe. It helps us a lot. Hit that bell. And then also comment, what was it you guys liked about this episode? What would you like to see more of? Because like I said, we're making it for you guys. And hey, you know what? Subscribe on our newsletter at hearties.com, and that way you never miss a thing. And we'll see you guys next time right here on the When Calls the Heart After Show.